Hi friends, welcome back. Welcome to my kitchen. I wanted to talk a little bit about saving more money on food. So this is part 2 in the series of living well on a low income. So I have a list. It's a continuation of yesterday's video. This one is a little shorter. So let me get right to it. And hopefully you'll find some tips in here that might be helpful to you. And if you have some money saving tips that you want to share with all of us, please leave it in the comments below. And we all could use a few more tips. I know I can. All right, so on to part 2. Okay, if you shop online and you do the curb pickup at Walmart, I found that the best time to get your groceries is on Friday afternoons. Walmart seems to stock up for the weekend, because if you wait till Monday or Tuesday, they're out of everything. So the best time to do that is a Friday afternoon. At least that's what I found in the Walmart that I go to. So check and see, and maybe that'll work for you too. If you have grapes that are starting to go, and you can freeze your grapes. They're delicious frozen, and they get even sweeter after you freeze them. And you can put them in a fruit salad or in a smoothie, but they're delicious just right out of the freezer. It's a really, really yummy treat. And you can also chocolate cover your grapes just like you do strawberries. I've done that before, and they're delicious. So give that a try. Don't throw away your coffee grounds or your tea grounds. Make a compost, a kitchen composter, or keep a bucket in the garage where you put all your scraps and the ones you don't make soup with, and your coffees and your teas. And then think about maybe having a little container veggie garden on your deck or on a balcony. Wherever you get a lot of sun, you should be able to grow at least some tomatoes and salad and things like that. So, and acid-loving plants, they love coffee grounds. So if nothing else, just dump them in your yard, and your plants will thank you. Make your own basic sauces, rather than buying like ranch, Southwest ranch and things like that. Make your own sauces. Use up your mayonnaise. You can combine ketchup and mayonnaise, barbecue sauce and mayo. You can have different combinations with mustard, like a dill mustard, or so get creative with your sauces. And keep them in your fridge, and then when you have a dish that was a leftover, you can always put a sauce over it and give it a different flavor. It's great for flavoring rice or pasta or beans, whatever you'd like to eat. It's even good on a burger. So make your own sauces. Maybe find a recipe for 3 or 4 of them that you really like. If you like a spicy one, then you could put a little bit of chipotle in with it, or the sky's the limit. Just use your imagination. You can also put them on salads that way too. Before your greens go bad, you buy those bubble packs of greens, and sometimes they end up going bad. Stick them in the freezer. Stick them in a baggie. You can make them flat and stick them in the freezer. They won't be good for a salad anymore, but they will be good to put in soup or in smoothies. You can add greens to your smoothie. That way you don't have to throw away your food. But like I said in the previous video, and I've said this several times, you have to monitor your produce. Today I bought little cherry tomatoes at the beginning of the month, and I bought 2 little pints of them, and they did last me all month. I did wash them a couple times during the time that I saved them in a little vinegar bath, And today I noticed that they were starting to get on the tips of them a little bit of white, fuzz. So I threw those out, but the ones that were still good, I rinsed them again in vinegar, and then I cut them up and I put some balsamic dressing on them, and now I'll eat them either today or tomorrow in a salad, or this morning I ate some on my guacamole toast. That was delicious. So you have to monitor your produce to keep it from going bad. Keep a list of potential meals from what you have on hand. Whether it's 5 dishes, 10 dishes, whatever. Before you go shopping, make sure that you, or after you go shopping, either way, it works either way, make yourself a list of potential meals. You don't have to do, Monday I do this, Tuesday I do that, Wednesday I make this dish. But if you keep a list of meals according to what ingredients you have, then you'll never be at odds as to what to cook, and you'll have all the ingredients that you need ahead of time. This is an important one. Keep to portion sizes. If you want to save money on food, now I'm not saying starve yourself, no. But try to stick to portion sizes. That's a good way to save money on food, and most of us really don't need to eat as much as we do. So no offense to anybody, but if you want to save money, sticking to portion sizes will help you do that. Consider eating 2 main meals instead of 3. Just have 2 meals. Depends on what your body craves and, when you're hungry. Maybe it's breakfast and dinner, or maybe it's brunch and dinner. And if you're hungry in between, just have a snack. Have some peanut butter and crackers, or half a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, or whatever you need to get you through that time. But try eating 2 meals instead of 3. Then you'll save money on food that way too. Try restricting your eating times to a certain time frame, like an 8-hour time frame, so that you have some intermittent fasting going on and you're not eating way into the night, because it's not healthy for you to go to bed with a full stomach. So try that and see how long you can go in between. I've kind of eaten this way my whole life, where I will get to like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock is the very latest that I eat at night. I usually like to eat around 5:30. Sometimes I eat at 4 if I didn't have anything in between breakfast, or I had an early breakfast, but it depends. It's flexible. And that way your body will have time to use up the food that you've put in it, and you'll lose some weight too. So I've just eaten that way my whole life. What I do after dinner, I go brush my teeth, and that's it. I get myself a drink, something without sugar that won't, rot my teeth, and because it is important to stay hydrated. And sometimes we're not really hungry, we're actually thirsty. So get yourself a nice cold drink, or a nice hot tea, or whatever it is you like to drink, and then brush your teeth after you eat dinner, and then don't eat any more food after that. So, because snacks can get expensive too, and it's not really healthy to eat too late at night. Let's see. Try having a full glass of water before you eat your meal. That'll fill up your stomach a little bit and you'll eat less. And then you can even have your salad before your meal, or you can have a small cup of soup just to sort of fill you up a little bit more. And salad and soup, they're less expensive than, say, a meat dish or whatever you have for dinner. So, and you can even do that for lunch, but that'll help you cut back on your food and keep you full longer. Have a fruit salad for dessert. Like I said in yesterday's video, I cut up an apple and an orange, and I use frozen fruit with it and put on a little bit of lemon to keep it from going bad. And then a nice dollop of yogurt on there is delicious. It's a healthy dessert, and it's something that's not real expensive because you can buy apples on sale. Different apples go on sale at different times, and if they don't have oranges on sale, they usually have some sort of citrus fruit that they have on sale, whatever the season is. Make as much as you can from scratch. I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer. But like I said yesterday, keeping all the staples on hand that you need to make very basic dishes, try making everything from scratch. You can even make plant-based butter. You can make cultured butter that isn't dairy. And it's delicious, and it's cheaper than buying it. And if you're plant-based, if you buy a little tiny bar of Miyoko's cultured butter, it's like $6, $5-6. It's ridiculous. And making your own is not hard. You just use a couple probiotics in whatever, whether it's cashew or coconut milk, or whatever it is that you culture, and then you can check online. There's lots of recipes for making vegan butter. And you don't get all the bad fats that you get if you buy margarine. So try making your own. Use your kitchen appliances to the fullest. If you have a bread maker, you can make yogurt in your bread maker. If you have an Instapot, you can make yogurt in there, or you can, so try using your small kitchen appliances as much as possible. Plus that, you save money on electricity or gas rather than starting up the big oven. Even using a toaster oven, a small toaster oven. If you're 1 or 2 people, I bake everything in my toaster oven as opposed to my big oven. The only time I use that is if my family's coming over and I'm making a big dinner. Other than that, I use my air fryer and I use my toaster oven, and it just saves a lot. Let's see. Oh, if you're a single person, or even if you're 2 people, try using just half a cake mix with half the ingredients, or use half a cookie mix. If you like to buy pre-made chocolate chip cookie mix or something, try just using half of it and saving the other half for a different time. That way you don't have to eat it all at once before it goes bad. You can also freeze portions of it, cut it into portions, and that's what I do a lot of times if I bake a small cake, because I'm not a big sweet eater, but every once in a while I get a little taste for something, and I just cut little pieces of it and stick it in the freezer. Then if I want something maybe to go with some fruit salad on top and a little bit of yogurt or whatever, then I have a single portion in the freezer, and that even works if there's more than one person in your family. All right, let's see what else. This is kind of a no-brainer too. When you buy frozen veggies, try and buy vegetables in bulk. They have the bigger packs of them. It's cheaper that way. And also try to buy the vegetables that are the most versatile. In other words, like the mixed vegetables and things like that. So you get a variety of vegetables in the bag rather than just broccoli or cauliflower or something like that. Or you could buy a big bag of mixed vegetables and mix some of the other vegetables, the broccoli, the cauliflower, in with it just to stretch it a little further. So try doing that. If you can, I know if you're on a budget, it's hard to do. Try and save up for a pressure cooker. They have them at garage sales. It doesn't have to be an Instapot. It could just be a regular old-fashioned pressure cooker. Your food comes out more nutritious. You cook it faster. If you are in a hurry and you're starving, you stick it in the pressure cooker and it's done lickety-split, and you don't go out and buy fast food and you have something healthy. So if you can afford it, look for a pressure cooker and look for a bread machine. And I know they have both of them in thrift stores sometimes. And if you're one of the people that are afraid of a pressure cooker, just following a few rules, like don't open the top before you let all the steam, run it underwater and let the steam escape. It takes a little bit of a learning curve, but it's doable. So if you can afford it as extras, get yourself a bread machine and a pressure cooker. I think I already said to save your glass jars, and sometimes nuts and pretzels come in those hard plastic containers. I save those too, and I put all kinds of things in there. So save those, and you can put nice little chalkboard labels on them, and you can make a nice looking pantry. I've already shown my pantry. It is in my playlist where I show you my pantry, and I have all these containers labeled, and it's easy to store things and it looks nice. When you buy staples like flour and rice, beans, if you have the room, put them in your freezer for a couple days. That will prolong the life of the flour and the rice, because if there are any bugs in there, I know, right? Gross. It'll freeze them, and then that'll be the end of it. So anyway, stick it in your freezer for a couple days. I keep my nuts in the freezer too. If I buy walnuts, because I use a lot of walnuts in my plant-based meat dishes, and I keep them in the freezer because nuts will go rancid if you leave them too warm and things. So I just stick them in the freezer, and it does prolong them a little bit. Let's see. Keep an inventory of what you have in your freezer. And as you use things, I keep mine on the side of my refrigerator, on the side of my refrigerator. And then as I use things up, let's say I have, 5 containers of veggie ground meat. So as I use it up, I cross one off, and then I know I have 4. That way I always know what I have in my freezer, and I don't have to second guess myself and buy another 5 packs when I already have 5 in there, and everything tends to get used up. So keep a freezer inventory list. You can do the same thing with a shopping list. As you use up your bread flour, add another one. It's kind of a no-brainer, but having a system that works for you is really important when you're trying to save money on food. Because in the past, I know I've been guilty of this. And, it's like, well, I think I still have, this or that. And then I better buy one just in case. And then the one that I had the time before, it expires, and I've thrown my money away. So keep a running list. Let's see. Oh, here's one. Teach your kids how to cook. They'll thank you later. They really will. But a lot of kids, they just have no clue how to cook. And I know my little grandsons, they like to cook with their dad. Their dad's a good cook. And, even if it's just basic things like making a toasted cheese sandwich or making waffles together, Down the road, they'll thank you when at least they can feed themselves if you're not there to feed them. So cook with your kids and teach them how to cook. Get a simple cookbook. And it's just as important for boys as it is for girls. Pick only those foods that you love to eat. Now, I buy sweet potatoes sometimes because I know they're good for me. But I really don't like sweet potatoes that much. So then I always kind of have to, I got to cook these sweet potatoes. What am I going to make with them? So try and buy food that you really love, even if it's something that you think you should eat because it's healthy. You're probably better off not to buy it because you'll be apt not to eat it and you'll end up throwing it away. When you have a list of foods, have a needs list and buy most of your groceries from your needs list, and then have a wants list. And if you have money left over, then you can throw the wants in the cart too. But otherwise, stick with your needs list, and it'll be cheaper in the long run, and you'll have everything you need to survive the week or the month or however long you shop. So separate your wants from your needs in your shopping list. Find an inexpensive coffee that you really like, and then fill up your own K-cups, or if you have a Keurig like I do. You don't always have to buy the most expensive coffee. You can even flavor some of the coffees with cinnamon, or stick a little vanilla in there before you perk it. So you can make your own flavors of coffee, but you need to find a basic coffee that you really like, whether it's a French roast or a light roast. There's so many coffees out there, and you really don't have to buy top-end coffee to enjoy a cup of coffee. Let's see. I kind of touched on this a little bit a few minutes ago. Get yourself a little composter in your kitchen where you can put all your scraps and start composting. You can compost eggshells. You can even compost shredded paper. If you have a paper shredder, you can add all that stuff to your compost. It'll decompose and make a beautiful compost. And then, you can plant things in buckets or whatever. And you could even do a little herb garden in the house by a bright window. And in the spring, plant yourself a bucket of herbs. And before the winter comes, cut them off and dry them. And you'll have herbs for the whole winter. And you can make your own spice mixes with that too. And that'll save you a lot of money. Freeze and save your food and veggie scraps, your peelings. You can save all kinds of things. I talked about this yesterday too. Stick them in a bag in a freezer and make stock with them. Save your bones for meat stock. I think I talked about that. And that's it. I'm done. Enough talking about food. So I hope that you've at least gotten some tips. I know a lot of these things are kind of like, yeah, when I know I do that or I do this, but if we all sort of get in this thing of saving money on food together and share our opinions and our thoughts on it, I'm sure we can all pick up some good tips now and then. So I think the next video that I'm going to make in this series, it'll probably be either later in the week or the beginning of next week, because I do want to go over my February budget and how I did. But I think my next talk will be on living on a low income and entertaining. I had a couple of viewers request that. So I'm putting together a list of things that I do to entertain on a budget, and I want to share those things with you. All right, that's all I have, and I want to get this video uploaded today. So that's it. All right, my friends, I love you guys. I wish you abundant blessings, abundant food, everything you need to enjoy your life, and I'll see you next time.